A long time ago, on a continent far, far away, there lived a man called Newton. Our friend Newton here was quite unlucky. He was sitting under an apple tree and minding his own business. Suddenly, a comedically large apple hits Newton on the head. Instead of passing out and receiving serious brain injury, he then got an idea. He found the laws of motion. Why do these laws matter to us? Because they are the foundations of our modern life. Without applying the laws of motion, many things won't work, like cars, trains, airplanes, rockets. We can better understand the world around us if we know these laws. Now let's take a look at these laws of motion founded by Newton. The first law of motion states, all objects will remain in a state of rest or continue to move with a constant velocity unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. To simplify, something moving wants to stay moving in a straight line. In other words,
Stop me now.
So something still wants to be still. This tendency to resist change of motion is also called inertia. A great example of an object wanting to stay at rest would be this magic trick. There would initially be a tablecloth over the table, usually with plates and bowls on the tablecloth. The magician would then quickly pull the cloth away from the table. The plates and bowls will continue resting on the table since they wanted to stay at rest. An example of an object wanting to stay in motion would be a car crash. When the car hits the wall, the car would stop, but the person inside would keep on moving forward. Looking back at Newton's first law, the object, or the person in this case, wants to remain in motion. The person inside the car would still be moving in the same direction and at the same speed as the car previously was. So the person might be thrown out of the car. That's why we have to wear a safety belt. Now you know Newton's first law of motion. Every object has a tendency of inertia and does not like to change. Kinda like me. I don't like getting into bed, but also don't like getting out of bed. I don't like change too much. But enough side talk, let's get back to our main topic. Newton's second law of motion says, the accelerated of an object produced by a net external force is directly proportional to the magnitude of the net force in the same direction and inversely proportional to the mass of the object. To simplify, the larger the force is, the faster the acceleration produced. The less the mass is, the faster the acceleration produced. This can be expressed by the formula F equals ma. What is acceleration? It is the rate of change in an object's velocity, including magnitude and direction. If a car moves in a constant speed in a straight line, its acceleration is zero, because there is no change of its speed and direction. If a car can achieve a high speed in a short amount of time from rest, we say it has a high acceleration. Sometimes we want fast acceleration. For example, when we are waiting for the green traffic light, we want to reach a high speed in a short amount of time. According to Newton's second law of motion, we have to rely on a larger force from the engine. That's why some prestigious racing cars can reach 110 kilometers per hour from rest within 3 seconds. They all have a very powerful engine to generate a large force to produce higher acceleration. An example for the relation of acceleration and mass would be a shopping cart. We know it is easier to push an empty shopping cart than to one that's full. Based on Newton's second law, if acceleration is the same, then the less mass the object has, the less force it needs. We know the mass of an empty shopping cart is less than the one that's full, so we need less force to change the empty cart's motion. Now I know why I can't run faster. I have to lose some weight, but now we can talk about Newton's third law. The third law of motion states, for every action force, there is an equal and opposite reaction force. Simply put, when you exert a force on an object, the object will exert an equal force in the opposite direction to you. Here we have a rock. If you decided to kick this rock, it would fly off in that direction, but you'll feel a force acting against your feet, making it hurt. That's an example of Newton's third law. Another example of Newton's third law would be swimming. If you wanted to swim forward, you would have to push the water backward. Based on Newton's third law, you apply a backward force on the water will give you the same amount of force, but in the opposite direction, allowing you to swim forward. The same thing happens in real life. If we want to be treated in a certain way, we have to treat others in the same way. Now it's time to wrap everything up. Let's revisit what we've learned today about Newton's 3 laws of motion. First, all objects want to either stay in motion or stay at rest, and they don't want to change. Second, the larger the force, the smaller the mass, the faster the acceleration of an object can achieve. And third, forces come in pairs, action and reaction. By understanding these 3 laws of motion, I hope you can better understand the world and take advantage of them. Thanks for watching. Bye!